Welcome back to Switch to Linux. So today we're just going to have a real quick first impression, maybe pro con, whatever, of KDE Neon. So KDE Neon is a project by the KDE Foundation where basically it utilizes Ubuntu as a core base with the most advanced and most recent KDE Plasma and other KDE applications built on top of it. So we're just going to dive straight in here by having a look at their website. So here's where you can download it, and you download it over here, and they have their basic information. So the good thing, if you want to download it, is for a 64-bit system, and that might be one of the negatives, is you can't get this on a 32-bit. They've actually simply said they don't want to do it in 64 or in less than 64. Let's see, there is this install. Okay, so that's installing an image writer for 32. But if you actually want to download it, you'll see that there are only 64-bit editions, and they actually say in their FAQ that they're not really going to be supporting any of the 32-bit, simply because 64-bit's becoming so popular that they're pretty much focusing on that. So as you see here, it is based upon Ubuntu 16.04. They do want to stay with the Ubuntu LTSs. They actually say this is not a distro, so depending on what you'd call a distro, I generally define a distro as what is the core, what is the desktop environment, what software packages involved. I guess I'd say that, yeah, this is probably a distro. That's me. And I think what a lot of people might say, they're saying, no, it's not a distro. It's important to work with many distributions as each brings unique value and expertise for their respective users. This is one project out of 100 from KDE. Well, I guess that's the KDE distro. I misread that, I guess. And the cat's been over here bothering me, so Kitty's going to come up and say hi.
Use KDE Neon, it rocks.
Okay. What? And the other cat's showing up. All right. So is this the KDE distro? I totally misread that FAQ. I'm going to correct myself on the fly here that yes, it is a distro, but no, it is not the official KDE distro. Obviously, this computer behind me is Linux Mint KDE, and it is, I did look today, it is 18.0, not 18.1, I'm pretty sure. And actually, I checked that because I did watch a video today from, I forget who it was. Somebody just today or yesterday or today did a video looking at Linux Mint KDE. And I want to have a quick look at what is my system, and they did 18.1 KDE. This computer here is 18.0 KDE, and I love it. I'd still love to upgrade the hard drive. Maybe I will. Actually, I still have I got a hard drive right over here. This actually contains Windows Vista, and I was thinking, do I want to keep this around? This is actually my media center PC. Was Windows Vista, and this is the original hard drive from it at factory reset. And I'm just pondering, why in the world do I need to keep a copy of Windows Vista around? So I don't know. I might use this hard drive and use Clonezilla, move this over to a better hard drive, and use the one that's on there for just simple data storage, I guess. I don't know. But regardless, I like the KDE desktop environment. It probably is my second favorite. I'd say that behind Cinnamon, KDE probably, I really like KDE. Okay, I guess here's where the question is it a distro? Not quite. I don't know. Okay. So really, what is this? And they actually did ask this question here. Can I turn Kubuntu into KDE Neon with a PPA? So they actually talk about this, and this I wanted to look at this particular question because somebody actually asked me to do that video comparing KDE Neon to Kubuntu, and I still want to do that, and I'm thinking based upon my preliminary observations here inside of KDE Neon, I'm pretty sure I know what a lot of your differences are going to be. On the KDE Neon, you're always going to have the most up-to-date, stable KDE software, but on the Ubuntu, you're probably going to have quite a bit more software working, things like that. But you can see their FAQs. Here's where they talk about only being 64-bit. A few other items on here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and close this down, and we will jump into this here. So I'm gonna start up our machine, same Linux machine that I use for anything else, and we're just gonna go ahead and boot this guy up. I did not make any real changes to the system, so as it boots up is how it is. This is the one thing I do not like about this is not a function of Neon, this is a function of KDE Plasma, is this login screen is bright. Okay, but the good news is you can change it really easy. You can put your own custom picture there, and that's what I did. I put a picture from my last summer vacation on it, so I'm greeted with a picture that's just as bright, just not a whole lot more. So here we are booted into KDE Neon, and I first looked at KDE Neon a couple months ago, and I had some issues with it, and I forget which computer I looked at it on. I want to say it might have been my Ubuntu computer. I can't remember. But I didn't observe any notable issues. I did have the software manager crash on me once. It is not super software resource heavy. I think that's going to be one of the things I see when I look at this side by side with El Ubuntu. Is I'm going to guess that the El Ubuntu is going to be more system heavy. This one here is not. Let's look at the system resources. So looks like about 400 megabytes of memory is being used, is what it's telling me here. And then you can see the CPUs are not working too much. So here's your current process table. So one of the things that I had observed is, first, the download of the distro is actually pretty light. It's only 1.2 gigabytes. Which is a little bit better than a lot of your distros, and a lot of the reason for that is the software is also extremely light. This comes with more utilities than distros like Elementary OS, which I criticized for having no utilities at all. So this does have some utilities on it, not a whole lot. But it has enough to be a functional system. One of the things that I did observe, if you look through the software here, it does not come with any Office suite. It does not even come with a email program. It comes with Firefox, so that's pretty much the only program this has that's not a basic system utility. In addition to that, you also have... let's see, there's a basic text editor here. We also have very minimal themes, very minimal desktop pictures. For example, here there really are no wallpapers. Now, I'm not sure on a desktop environment like KDE, and maybe this comes down to personal preference. I did have somebody send me a message today saying that they really like to change their desktop around a lot, and I don't know. I mean, I don't change my desktop around quite as much. I used to in the old days, and maybe I almost got a little bit used to being locked into what my desktop looked like. But maybe nowadays, maybe this computer here, I do need to change the desktop appearance around. Just make it look different from time to time. And so, with that being said, it's very possible that it's a good thing they don't have an overwhelming amount, because that's what I looked at Farron OS a couple weeks ago, and the problem with Farron OS, so things like almost a 4 gigabyte download, because there's so many themes and so many wallpapers and so many icon packs, so much stuff in it. It's like you could use a different theme every week and not run out of themes by the end of the year. And I think that's a little excessive. So then we have to ask, is there's only one desktop wallpaper here to choose from available. But at least the cool thing with KDE is on all of these screens where you can customize things, you generally have this option here that you can actually go online and look for other wallpapers. And so with this, we can decide what we want, just simply going online and clicking these. And that way, it kind of keeps the download lighter for the user. But then it also gives you the quick option to find other wallpapers and other things that you might like. And so if I like a lot of nature scenes, I don't have a lot of these more abstract ones. And if I like abstract themes, I don't have too many nature themes. And each one of these that you're not including with the final OS makes it a little bit lighter to download. So that's either a pro or a con based upon how you see it. So now I just go on there and click the apply. So this is what this desktop's going to. That's actually really cool. I like that. I might put that desktop over there. There you go. I like that old books and classroom type setting. There you go. That's neat. And that one's pretty cool too. I think I'm going to go with this one though. So here you can very quickly, and in this same way with the themes, we're very light on the themes. But again, you can download the themes. So over here on the workspace theme, we have a light and we have a dark theme to choose from. And then we can get new themes as well. So if you come over here, click the Get New Looks, and then you can look for various theme types based upon what you're looking for. So let's just see if anything. Oxygen Crystal Diamond. Okay, I'm not sure that actually worked in that case. So let's just go with that. Let's see. Okay, so this one here is another alternative that we had picked up, and it looks like it's much the same as Breeze Dark, a little bit different, you can see. So it kind of gives us a few darker elements, but some lighter things. This is actually kind of more like my current Linux Mint theme, where it has some darker on the top and things, but it has some lighter elements as well. So this is kind of a neat concept here. Desktop themes, again, it only has your basic themes. You can click new themes down here, and you can hunt around for the themes that you might want. See if anything jumps out real quick as I'm looking through here. It's I do find it's a little difficult to observe, to see what a theme's going to look like. Let's see if we can find one that doesn't want to download from a website instead. There you go. Okay. So here's this one. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh. I might put that over there. That's a cool one. 0G. I'm going to write that down. I think I might actually theme this computer to look like this. I think this looks pretty sweet. Look at this. All right. I like it. That's pretty cool. All right. So that's kind of how the theming goes. As far as everything else, let's have a look at the dolphin here. I'd almost kind of like this to be a little darker if I'm using this theme setting. So I don't know. I might tinker with that a little bit. But like KDE does, a little bit different from other distros, you single click into a folder instead of double clicking. And if you do not like that setting, you can actually turn that off. I'm trying to remember where you turn that off. It is in the system settings. Let's see if I can remember where that is. I want to say it's under window management. So here's where you can indicate the maximize and the minimize buttons. And I think, somewhere in here, I think, is the ability to show. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me exactly where it is. I just don't remember off the top because I don't adjust it all the time. But the, there you go. The, one of the things in here I thought it was under Windows Management. And of course, when you're looking at this, you might be looking right at it, and I can't see it because that's just kind of the way it is when you're doing a video. It's really hard to spot where the one item is, but there's a setting in here where you can toggle it to allow double clicks inside the file manager instead. I guess maybe it's not under Window Management. Anyway, there's a setting in there. I'm sure if you do a quick internet search, you can do that. And check the comments in a couple days. Somebody's going to tell me how to change that. But if you're not used to that, KDE can throw you for a little bit of a loop because you're so used to double-clicking Windows, Mac, every other distro. You might be so used to it. So just a quick tip on that. If you hover up here, you can see this plus shows up. Clicking on the plus will allow you to select it, and then holding down Control, now you can select multiple things as you ordinarily would be able to. Now, I did choose to install this with the default codecs, so everything works. Of course, as of Plasma, the Windows Meta key works to toggle the menus open, so that's a good feature. You can see here. Like I said, not a lot of applications, which actually kind of surprised me because even over here on Linux Mint, one of the criticisms that the gentleman did on the video I saw today was that they comes with Kmail instead of other applications, and I agree with him that Kmail is a little bit harder to use. But in reality, I was very happy to see Kmail on here because Kmail functions exactly the way I want an email app platform to function as. It was a little bit of a pain to figure out, and it was not intuitive for sure. But I like unified inboxes for most of my business emails because I have a lot of different emails that I want to filter to the same place. And if they were separated by folders like Thunderbird does now, that would drive me absolutely mad. And so, for whatever reason, though, they did not install an email program on this, but you can go ahead and look for one. You can get, let's see, you can get Evolution, Thunderbird, and Kmail is in here somewhere. Let me just look up Kmail. Of course, Kmail is the basic KDE email, and that's why it kind of surprised me that this is a KDE-specific distro, and they did not install Kmail. We're going to go ahead and install stuff here. I just want to see how well things install. So let's see. It says installing. Does it give me any updates there? This is also the Software Center is where you also go to update the system. Let's see. Tasks at 0%. It says it's still installing, and it's not seeming to. Let me see if the internet's working. Might be a bug. The internet may not be working in my VirtualBox, but internet's working. Okay, so I'm not sure why it's not installing for me right now. That's a little bit concerning. Like I said, I did not do a test trying to install any software, so I'm not sure what's causing that issue. Let me just come back over here and redo that. Yeah, I don't know. Try Thunderbird. So I'm not sure why this is happening. Maybe I'm on a VirtualBox. Maybe I'm recording video. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm not actually seeming to be able to install these. I doubt the shortcut for terminal in Ubuntu does not show up. Let's see. Hi, Kitty. A kitty just showed up. Okay, so we're able to install it just fine under the terminal. So I'm not sure why it's not working in the software package. So we'll call that maybe a con. Maybe something's goofed up on my system. Maybe it doesn't like that I'm recording a video. Not sure. This is another thing that might drive some people a little crazy. And again, there's a setting for this. I'd have to remember where it is. But if you'll see here that by default, it gives you the what the thing is as the main title, and then really small under it, it'll tell you which browser it is. That is something that little odd. I don't know. Some people might like that. Some people might not. Once again, that is a setting. And these are all things that I've done on this computer behind me. And think I can remember where they all are? No, not really. But in here, again, somewhere, any of these types of questions, you can look them up and get the information about it. Let me see if I can remember. Desktop, Sharner. It might be application style. There's window decorations. We can grab new window decorations there. I'm just not remembering where it is. And again, I don't do massive amounts of research when I'm going in here. If I wanted to figure out where that is, I'd just go in and just do a quick search. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. While we're here, let's make that smaller. Let's do KDE. Let's do menu, swap, title, and application type. Let's just do the search that. This is something else on this particular Firefox. That does not seem to do anything. I noticed that earlier today too. I'm not sure if this is quite the right keyword to look for, but it's email link. And that's not what I'm looking for. It is in here somewhere, I promise. It's going to drive me absolutely crazy until I find it. Let's see. File associations. This is something that is actually missing in Cinnamon. Drives me crazy that I can't come in here and change the basic icon for a general file type. Default applications, affiliates. Anyway, someone remind the users where that is. Basically, what we want to do is we want to swap the order of these, swapping the title and the task. It's in here somewhere. I'm just going to keep on hunting around for it. It's just going to drive me absolutely mad until I find it, but we'll resist. The other things you might want to do on KDE, this is one of those desktops that you can't really work off of the desktop itself, and that kind of drives me a little crazy, except as you see the computer behind me here, I actually solved that by putting window folders on here. So in the upper left corner, or as long as it's enabled in the lower right corner, you have an option to add widgets. Actually, the one in the bottom really more or less manages the panel one. But over here, you can add widgets, and there's a whole lot of widgets you can add, from clocks, application launchers. The one we are looking for is it called a folder? Yep. It's called the folder view. Just grab it from the menu and come over here. And then you can see here that it'll give you a folder view. So this is giving me the desktop view. So if you right click, is it right click? Yep, folder view settings, you can actually indicate where this is. So here's the desktop, or we can show files, or we can show a specific place. So here I'll change this to show the home folder, and you'll see now that it will show us just these. And you can specify a specific folder. So what I've done on the computer behind me here is I have a separate folder. It's in my documents folder. So what I do here is, let's see, in my documents folder, I come over here and I create a new folder and I just call this websites. And then come in here, let's do folder website 1, and we'll do another folder website 2. And then what I'll do is I'll come in here, specify the folder location. I can browse for this folder, and inside of here, documents, websites, click OK and apply. And now this will actually now give me a folder view of just what's inside that folder. So this is what actually allows me to work off of the desktop on the KDE platform without actually having to work on the desktop. There's other fun things that you can do, and I've done a few different theming up of these, including adding comic strips and things to your home page, which is a fun thing to do. But KDE itself, because of the amount of widgets and the amount of desktop items that you can use, is just an absolutely fabulous distro for this reason. Well, desktop environment, I should say. The other cool thing that you can do is if you do not like this type of menu, anything where you have multiple different types of applications, you can right click and there is a star button here that says alternatives, and you can pick from different types of alternatives. So the application dashboard, when you pull it up, gives us something more like this. It's actually nice to see that on Linux Mint, the background does not show up behind it. It might simply be because that doesn't recognize my graphics card as much, and this seems to. So here we have this type of system, which is a pretty cool one. You also have a more traditional application menu, which looks more like this, which is a nice, fun menu. But if I'm using something like KDE, I really like the fanciness of the launchers and the dashboards and stuff. So I really like this one for working with KDE. So that's that. You also have the options on a clock. You can change to an analog clock. So there's a nice analog clock, or you can change, there's a calendar view. So you got all sorts of neat options that you can do for your clocks. Oh yeah, fuzzy clock is kind of fun. It's 20 past 10. Yeah, that's pretty fun. So overall, KDE, I think the only reason KDE does not overtake Cinnamon in my mind is that I can't work directly off the desktop, and I like just working off my desktop, which is kind of the way we naturally like to work anyway. You know, we work off the desktop of our desktop. Why don't we work off the desktop of our computers? So all that being said, KDE Neon, very nice. Downsides, of course, the applications are pretty light. So that's, of course, an upside or a downside, depending. Let's see if I can actually get Kmail running now. I'm finding that the application installer does not seem to work right now. I'm not sure why. When I first installed the system, the updates worked just fine. So I know that something in here should be working, but for whatever reason, it's not allowing me to install through the installer right now. But as I showed earlier, it is allowing us. It is allowing us to. There are tasks that need to be done. Okay. Yeah, and it's not even allowing me to close the thing right now. I gotta cancel that before I can close it. So that's kind of a downside, I guess, is the software manager does not seem to be working for me. It is a very lightweight system. There's only the minimal amount of applications in here, which leaves you to need to install your own. And like I said, I couldn't remember where to flip these guys around. I'm pretty sure I'll find it eventually here. And it is somewhere in the system settings, I thought, but somebody remind me where that happens to be. And then, of course, the theming looks good. You have the nice, perfect balance, and this is KDE in general, not just Neon, but you do have that nice balance of you can do a lot of the modern... well, actually, you can do some of the modern and then some of the recent past modern looks. I really like these skeuomorphic 3D views, very nice flashy looking things. If you do like the flat view, you can still do flat views. As far as Neon is concerned, very light on everything, even the themes. You can see the icon packs, there's really nothing here. But once again, very easy. This is probably the easiest distro I know of to download new icons for. So just come over here and find the icons you want and install them. Just looking for a couple interesting ones. I want to see if I can find a really cool icon pack that'd go with this, because I'm going to theme this computer like this. This is pretty sweet looking. All right, so here it's just installing all the things that I told it to install. Let's go ahead and close that. So now I have more icons that I can install. See what that looks like. And that one there seems pretty incomplete. You can see that there's really no icon there for Firefox. Even that one's not giving me a good theme for Firefox. I don't know. I might need to play around with the system. So I'm not sure why it's not updating the icons here, I guess. Maybe it is, or maybe there's just not an icon there for it. Let me try adding a widget. And I'm going to try adding a launcher. I think it's application launcher. No, it's not application launcher. Move that one, yeah. The downside, I cannot always remember the name of the thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for the no, that's not it either. What I'm looking for is the widget that will allow me to launch applications. Quick Launch, that's the one. Right click, add a launcher, Firefox, okay. Close that, close that. Yeah, it's something's not working with my icons, and I'm not quite sure why that's not working with my icons. Especially since I'm using now default. Let me just go back to default, apply. And okay, so that's actually working there, but it should be. Okay, let me try adjusting the size of this. Yeah, for some reason the icon, there should be a launcher in here and I can't see the icon. And I'm not sure what's going on here. Like if that's a problem with the icon pack, which it shouldn't be because I went back to defaults. Let me just switch everything back to defaults and see if I can get this back to actually showing me icons. So hit defaults. All right, fine. I'll manually select the defaults. So we're pretty much back to defaults on everything, and I still can no longer see several icons. So that's something that's going on here where it's not allowing the icons to come through properly. So I guess that might be, I'll call that another negative, another thing that we'll have to fight with to try and figure out. So, you know, there's a Firefox launcher here. I just can't see the icon for it. So, you know, those are some of your negatives. Overall, Neon's pretty cool. I'd like to get these icon things resolved so I can get this themed up exactly the way I like. Figure out what's wrong with the software center. And let's see. I think everything else is pretty good, though. So overall, if you are wanting to play around with KDE, the major advantage with using Neon here is it does give you the absolute latest KDE. I know this one, like this KDE's version. Let me switch back here. Let me find the version here. Oh. So this Plasma version is 5.9.2, and I want to say over here it's 5.8.2, I think. I am running 5.8.5 over here. This is 5.9.2 for Plasma. And so you are going to get the absolute latest on the KDE Plasma running Neon, obviously. And that's kind of their selling point. With the K Ubuntu, I'm going to assume I'm going to probably have a slightly older version, but they're going to make sure that it's always the stable version. And so we'll know that when I do my comparison. So I am going to do a comparison video of KDE Neon versus K Ubuntu. Somebody did ask to see that, and I'm very fascinated by it. Like I said, KDE is my second favorite desktop. So I'd like to go ahead and do that one sometime. But with all that being said, KDE Neon, pretty cool. Running into a few little bugs here and there, but we'll see if we can get those resolved down the road. And like I said, there were a couple little points in that video there where I could not remember where a couple of items are. Whoever spots them first, throw them in the comments. If I find them tonight, I will go ahead and throw those in there. Otherwise, I'll just kind of leave it to the community to update you. So if you do want to know how to fix those few bugs, check below, and sure, somebody will resolve it. So with that, this has been Tom, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.